Attention, please. The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Drop Zone. Now introducing your host once again, the team of Jeff Walsh and Anthony Young.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Drop Zone. And as usual, my name is, now I'm going by my government name, Anthony Young. And of course, I got my partner in crime, my usual dog, Jeff, with me. How you doing, buddy?
Pretty good. Happy to be back.
Yes,
It
I
has
cannot
been over a
agree
year.
more.
Over a year. I checked on the channel. Been since June of last year we went live.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Been doing a lot of stuff. That's why we had to, shut the channel down for a bit. But now we're back, rebranded and everything. So
Streaming platform now. I know. Got a bunch of new stuff.
sorry for the loud music pop, everybody. We just had to get our music going. I forgot to turn the volume down. That was my fault.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. So, what you been up to, buddy, since last time we was on the air?
Nothing much. I've had a lot of, like you said, personal things happen in my life, but again, just working a lot, making a lot of money as much as I can, keep myself busy, meeting a lot of amazing people at work, another guy who does a podcast, he's been giving us some advice and everything, how to get everything set up, and, we thank him a lot for that, so, again, I'm just working a lot. How about you?
About the same. Taking care of a little bit of health issues and stuff like that. Get everything back to being somewhat normal. But yeah, other than that, basically the same stuff over and over. So you ready to get into it?
Yep, I've been ready.
I know it's been a while.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure some of our fans have been waiting too.
Oh, I know they are. And they have been.
So you want to open up the first topic and bring it up what it's going to be?
Yep. So, I don't know if we have some new fans, some returning fans, but Tony is a big New York fan. Not just Knicks, Yankees, and Giants.
Oh, not Yankees.
As we all know. Oh. As we know. Oh yeah, you're a Mets fan. That's my fault. Sorry. So, as we all know, the Knicks lost in 6 to the Pacers. And 3 days later, they fired their head coach, Tom Thibodeau, and they've been on the hunt for more and more head coaches. They've asked Jason Kidd. They've asked now Quinn Snyder from the Hawks. They've asked Chris Finch from the Timberwolves. They are going around trying to find any head coach they can. They fired him without a backup plan. And I want to hear from the man himself, Tony. with his thoughts on the Knicks season in general and what absolute stupidity they are doing right now.
All right, well, before we get into that, I want to say what's up, Brian. He just shouted us out on our comments. He's one of our loyal viewers that's been watching us for a while, since pretty much almost since we first started.
Yep.
So, now let's just get into this. As far as the season went, I believe it was a pretty good season. I mean, we struggled with a lot of the top-notch playoff teams. That when we actually end up beating the defending champions, the Boston Celtics. And I know some people will say, well, because Jason Tatum got hurt, and yeah, he was basically only missed 2 games because we got beat in game 4, I believe. So yeah, we beat them the first 2 games of the series with Jason Tatum, and yeah, he went down with like 2 minutes left in game 3. So I mean, you can't use Tatum as an excuse. Would it have made the series closer? Maybe. But for some reason, Tom Thibodeau has an issue beating the Indiana Pacers. We ran into that situation last year, and that was mostly due because of injuries. This year, we really didn't have any injuries, not any major injuries. I mean, it's the end of a basketball season after 82 games. We're going into the deep run into the playoffs. So, yeah, you're going to have nicks and bruises. But nothing that was actually major where a star player was out like last year. And, of course, we lose to the Pacers in 6. And like you said, 3 days later, they fired Tibbs. I don't see how you fire your most successful coach that you've had within the last 20 years. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, were some of his moves smart? Yes and no. I mean, him shrinking his bench down come playoff time, I just completely disagree with that. That is one of the stupidest things you can do. Because in the playoff time is when you actually need your bench the most. Him also, some of the moves the Knicks made during the offseason, it was one of those where it was an up and down feeling for me, because I do appreciate the fact that everybody knew how I felt about Randall. That where I felt where if things didn't go his way, he starts becoming a big baby. He starts bringing the team down because things wasn't going his way. Cat didn't do that this year, but you basically gave up the future of the franchise when you could have kept everything somewhat the same and built on top of that. But now you're basically taking a step backwards, because now you're looking for a coach that you could hope will fit the team properly. And if that doesn't happen, then what? You're going to fire this coach after a year or 2? It's not good business sense. It's not good business sense whatsoever. And this is why the Knicks are the Knicks. And I'm pretty sure this wasn't a Jim Dolan call. And I actually wish it was, because that would be a fun rant. That would have been a Roger Goodell type rant. But this was more of a Leon Rose, and I just felt like Leon Rose really didn't like Tibbs. He just wanted to get a coach that he wanted in there, instead of the coach that the players actually was enjoying having. Although it's kind of ironic that Tibbs coached the Minnesota Timberwolves when Cat was there, gets fired. Cat comes to the Knicks, Tibbs get fired. kind of reminds me of Derek Carr in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, to me, I felt it wasn't a smart business move or a good move. Period. I mean, the man literally took the team to the Eastern Conference Finals. And if it wasn't against Indiana, if it was against anybody else besides Indiana, they probably would have been in the finals against Oklahoma. So once again, the Knicks are getting in their own way again. And it just doesn't make any sense.
No, I agree with you 100% there. And I don't think there's, like, Tibbs is not the only person to blame. I don't think they gave him much of a opportunity of a bench to work with. They have DeLon Wright and PJ Tucker at the end of the bench. You know, we got Tyler Kolek. He's not going to put a rookie in the game. Other than that, I can't even name you the rest of their bench right now. That's how much of a bench they don't really have. They had to move Josh Hart to the bench and place Mitch Robinson because of how bad Josh Hart was playing.
And I'm sorry, Mitchell Robinson reminds me too much of DeAndre Jordan, where he's not much on offense unless he's a lobbing process. Great defender, but he does hurt the team on the other end of the floor, on the offensive end of the floor. Because essentially you're basically almost playing 5-on-4 basketball.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I mean, Mitch.
And Josh Hart, it's every play will have a good season, you know. It just so happens it was the Eastern Conference Final that he chose to have a bad series. We can remember back in 93, 94, you know, NBA Finals, Knicks and Rockets. Starks has a bad game. Rockets become champions. So, that does happen. But yeah, the fire Tibbs, that was uncalled for. It really doesn't sit well with me with the firing of Tibbs.
No, it makes me laugh that he lost to one team in the playoffs in the past 2 seasons, and it was the same team in the Pacers. You're going to fire a guy who lost to one team?
Yeah, I agree. That's kind of ridiculous.
Like, he brought you farther than any other coach that you have had in the past 25 years.
Which is true. Sorry about the red box, everybody. Hit the wrong button.
But the one I want to point at is the defense of the 2 superstars on that team, which is Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns. In the playoffs, Jalen Brunson's defensive rating was 118.6, which is very, very bad. And against the Pacers, it was 123.1.
Huh.
And on the court versus the Pacers, Jalen Brunson was a negative 26. Yes, he could be great on offense, but his defense he got attacked over and over and over again. You saw in that one game, he and Cat had 4 fouls each, and that's when Tibbs really went into his bench with Wright and realized, I can play more of a bench and have a different guy out there. And Wright played really, really well, and that's when he started using Wright a lot more. and Cat's
Yeah.
defense was not much better. His rating was 110.6 in the playoffs, 118.4 versus the Pacers. On the court, he was a +7. And the team's total defensive rating was 114.3, which was ranked 11th out of all the teams in the playoffs, and they played 18 games. So, again, the whole utilizing the bench thing is what I like to point at. Like, the Pacers went 10-11 deep, and each one of those guys can give you 10-plus points every night. They have such a deep bench, and Tibbs didn't make an adjustment to that. But it, again, definitely did not make any sense to fire him because of that reason.
No, it did not.
I don't know who they expect to get. Again, they keep going out to every team right now to try and find a head coach. That's not going to work because every team has signed their head coaches for a long time right now. I don't know who they're going to get right now, but it's going to be very interesting to see.
Yeah, it's gonna. I can't figure out anybody that they could possibly get right now. Like I said, Dallas already told them no. There was talk about getting the head coach from Villanova. He told them no. So yeah, I mean, unless you can find somebody that's possibly on their last year of their coaching contract, that's an assistant coach, you're probably not going to get anybody in particular unless you really reach in the bag. So yeah, I don't see it coming to be who's going to be. I don't see anybody who they're going to get.
I don't know. I guess we'll find out again if there is something. We will drop the knowledge on you guys about who they got, how we think it's going to work out for them. Again, it's just a tough market in New York. The expectations are really, really high. It's almost like a championship or bust, or you get fired. So I guess we will see who they hire in the coming weeks.
I just want to say, apparently we're having issues with streaming to our Facebook group and Instagram. So I'm working on that to see if we can get it fixed at the same time. If not, we do apologize. If we can't get it fixed, we will post the video, the entire podcast on the Facebook group and as well as Instagram.
Again, it's a new setup we got. We're still working out everything. So it is a very fresh new start for us.
Yeah, like I said, we literally revamped everything.
Everything. We got new, pretty much everything.
As y'all can see, we had a new starting intro, new logo.
We got some news on the bottom of the screen. So, yeah, we got a lot of stuff. Next, I want to talk about the NBA Finals. Game 3 is tonight, Tony. Game 3, a big game tonight in Indiana. Indiana shocked the world in Game 1 with the heroics in that fourth quarter of another comeback that they had. Thunder whooped their ass in Game 2 like they should have. And, Game 3, it's a big game. If Indiana loses both games, I think it's series over. There's no way they come back. But I see Indiana coming back with momentum. I could see Indiana taking this game at home. I think Halliburton has a big bounce back game. He did not play well in that game 2. And the role players for the Thunder went absolutely crazy with Aaron Wiggins and Alex Caruso, and then SGA doing his thing, of course. So I think the Pacers, they have a bounce back game and they come back and and they win Game 3 in Indianapolis to go up 2-1 in the series.
I have a different take on that. I'm taking Oklahoma. Simply for the simple fact is that Oklahoma's actually a little bit more talented than the Pacers.
Mm-hmm. Obviously, they are way more talented, but I like an underdog story. I like the underdogs.
Yes, you do love your underdogs. I will give you that.
I do. I am consistent. I like my underdog stories, man.
I just feel that Oklahoma has way too much firepower. I won't say too much firepower, but they have enough firepower that they should be able to stave off another Indiana comeback. Like I said, in Game 1, both teams are riding emotional highs because, for the first time in over a decade, maybe 2 decades, we're having a brand new NBA champion.
Yeah, because Pacers and the Thunder.
So I mean, both teams was riding a different emotional high in Game 1. In Game 2, Oklahoma showed them who really Oklahoma was. So, and I see them carrying that over into Game 3. I'll say this series more than likely will go, I would say, 6 games, with Oklahoma winning 4-2. But I mean, I'll be shocked if it goes 7.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I would love to see it go 7, but I mean, I do think that the Thunder are going to win this series, but I just really like the underdog story, what the Pacers have done in this postseason with the amount of comebacks that they've had against these teams. In the first round with the Bucks, in the second round with the Cavs, and then they did it to the Knicks in the conference finals, and then they just did it in Game 1. So, I mean, I see it going 6. I see it 4-2 OKC, but I think Game 3, I think it'll go to the Indiana Pacers.
I mean, that's a possibility. I mean, it just comes out. We just have to wait and see.
Mm-hmm. All right, here we go. I know that you've been excited. So, we're done with the NBA news. The NFL.
First, we actually have something that's brand new to the podcast as well.
Yep, new.
And give me 1 second so I can cue it up. Like I said, folks, bear with us. This is our first time actually using this platform as our new streaming platform. And we also have a sponsor.
Treasures Agency help you book your dream vacation. Contact Traveling Treasures via email, messenger, or phone, and let's get you on that dream vacation. Looking for that perfect cruise or vacation? Then allow Traveling Treasures Agency help you book your dream vacation. Contact Traveling Treasures via email, messenger, or phone, and let's get you on that dream vacation.
Yes, folks, we do have a sponsor.
Yep.
All right, so now, you was to bring up NFL news.
Mm-hmm.
So what do we have for NFL news?
Well, I'm going to put this part in first and then lead into what you're very excited about. So
Okay.
there are many there are many players sitting out and not going to mandatory mini camps. And so they are taking on thousands of dollars worth of fines because they want new contracts. Miami has two of them. Their tight end, uh, Jonnu Smith, their cornerback, Jalen Ramsey, he's seeking a trade. He already has a contract. He wants out of there. Washington's wide receiver, Terry McLaurin, he's seeking a new contract. Cincinnati's defensive end, Trey Hendrickson, the NFL sack leader last year. In the past two seasons, I think he has a total of like 50 some sacks or so. He has no contract after they paid T. Higgins and Chase all that money. They're not paying him, and he's been asking for it since last offseason, and he's still asking for his money. And as you see, I'm in the locker room. I'm in the Steelers locker room here, live reporting. But we got our defensive end, TJ Watt, sitting out mandatory minicamp with no new contract.
Yeah,
Are we
that's
serious right now?
crazy.
Are we serious? The other part of my thing is, yes, okay, yes, Steelers signed Aaron Rodgers. We needed him. He needed us. Fine. I'm not really angry with getting him because it's better than what we had. We had Mason Rudolph, Skylar Thompson, and a rookie. It's better than what we had. Okay? The amount of in the contract is what I'm really not happy with. It's a 1-year, $13.65 million contract worth up to $19 million. He's 41. Why are we paying a 41-year-old $19 million for 1 year? I understand he's Aaron Rodgers, Aaron frickin' Rodgers. I don't care. He's 41 years old. He has a $10 million signing bonus with a $14.15 million cap hit with a $5.85 million incentive package. Why? He's 41. And we still have TJ Watt, the face of our franchise, who's been the heart and soul of our team for how many years now, seeking a new contract. But we're going to pay a 41-year-old guy that much money. It doesn't make sense. If we somehow don't sign TJ Watt, but we signed Aaron Rodgers, I will be beyond pissed. You will hear my weekly... it'll be a weekly rant every time we lose. Even if we win, I might start ranting. Because this is one of the dumbest things. Not like the dumbest, but again, I understand we needed Aaron Rodgers. But I think we need TJ Watt a lot more than we need Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that.
What are you doing? Again, I'm excited. We have a good offense. Our defense is good. We got Darius Slay in the secondary now with Mika and Joey Porter Jr.
Yeah, that was a good steal, Darius Slay.
I'll take it. I will take it. Yes, he's old, but I think he's a very, very good player still.
I mean, it helps solidifies the back end of the defense to go along with that front seven. But yeah, I mean, making TJ Watt wait to get his money while you signing a 41-year-old who, remind you, is only coming off a year off of being removed from Achilles tear. So we've seen how well he played for the Jets. It didn't look pretty. Some of the games look kind of rough.
Yeah, my hope is what the Jets did was they pretty much gave him the GM. He was probably part owner. He was a coach. He was doing pretty much everything. I hope that he just comes in and Tomlin says, just play football. That's what I'm hoping, is that he's then just so focused on playing football. He's not going to bring any of his guys in from Green Bay or the Jets. He's just going to focus on playing QB for the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's what I hope, and that's what should happen. That's all he needs to do. It is set up around him. Yes, our offensive line is still not that great. I understand that. But we have such good all-around pieces around him that we should be better than we were last year. I think, yes, we might just still be... I think our ceiling is maybe a playoff win. That's it. That is about our ceiling right now. We're not contenders. We could get in the playoffs and upset somebody. But other than that, we are not anything. We're going to stay at the 10-7, maybe 11-6. We're going to get about... I think we have a lot of picks in this draft, which is a QB-heavy draft. So...
That it is.
We could get a very good young QB. That is my optimistic look. But again, not having TJ Watt in the building yet with a new contract in the mandatory minicamp is what's really frustrating and worrying me. Because if we lose him somehow, we will not be the same team nor defense. So we got to figure it out, because Myles Garrett, he got paid. Max Crosby, he got paid. Michael Parsons, he is going to eventually get paid. And TJ Watt and Trey Hendrickson are looking to get paid. So the market for these defensive ends are just going to keep going up. So, what are you waiting for? Sign them now, because the more that the defensive ends get paid, the more that you're going to have to then pay TJ Watt. I mean, I'd pay him so much money. I would pay him a lot of money in general because of what he's done for the not only team but the city. He is such a vital part of just the organization in general. He needs to be signed very, very soon. Or then I get very, very worried about our future in the season, how it's going to move forward. All right, I'm good now. I got the rant out. I have a few Steelers coworkers, so we've been talking about it for ever since Rodgers got signed.
Sorry, I'm just informing everybody in the Facebook group of the issues that we was having with the stream. So for those of you that really don't know, Facebook has literally removed third-party streaming to Facebook groups. You can still do it on your profile and your page, but they removed it from the groups, which doesn't make any sense.
So that's Facebook.
And so we followed the steps that our new streaming system has told us to follow. But apparently, again, more than likely, it's Facebook that's giving us the issue. So like I said, we'll have this one, I'll upload it on the page, on the group page. And I'll upload it on Instagram for those who can't see it as well. And hopefully next week, we can have it all figured out and fixed by next week. But yeah, once again, for those of you that's trying to watch it on the group, which I know you guys can't hear us, which was kind of weird because at first it looks like it was showing at one point and then it just stopped. So once again, we have no idea. I'll work on it this week. Hopefully we'll do another test run. Hopefully we can get it working for you guys.
Again, this is stream one of we hope to be many back. We're going to be back in the season. We're gonna be back every week, so it's gonna be a lot smoother. Everything's gonna go a lot better. This is just week 1.
Yeah, so bear with us.
You got anything on the Steelers? Kind of.
There
Not
was a
making
quote
sense right
I
now.
wanted to share with you. I don't know if you've seen it. I did post it in the group earlier today.
Oh,
I
I
don't know if
saw
you've seen
it.
it.
What the Aaron Rodgers? Something he's old or whatever.
From Deshaun Elliott.
Oh, I'm sure Aaron Rodgers went right up to him and was like, "Really? Yes, he's old."
This was the quote that came from Deshaun Elliott. He basically said, "Leave his ass at the retirement home." Now, I mean, to some degree, I can understand what he's saying, but at the same time, like you said, he's better than what you have now. Because if Mason Rudolph is going to be the answer, you guys are going to be in trouble. It's going to be a long season.
You gotta tell me. I know. As soon as we signed him, I was like, "Why? We already saw what happened last time." Where is he? Hey, Deshaun, why'd you say that? What are we doing here? I know. You don't gotta tell me. Again, maybe with the Arthur Smith system, I think it'll work well. I'm hoping Aaron Rodgers is definitely better than Russell Wilson. I would have loved to have kept Fields because I think he played really, really well. But apparently we weren't offering him enough, so he went to the Jets, which is interesting because we play them week 1. So Aaron Rodgers playing his former team, and then Fields plays us. So it'll be very interesting week 1.
So yeah.
I
basically just traded quarterbacks. Y'all might have just done that.
Yeah, just without the trade.
So, but I mean,
it just took too long for me. I would have liked to have him there sooner, but again, he's here. All the noises died down. He said he's here. He is all in. There's gonna be no issues or anything. So we'll see.
I mean, like I said, I'm still puzzled by the fact that they didn't offer TJ Watts a bigger contract. Your best player. Why would you take the risk of him sitting out? Which I don't honestly think he will sit out. I think personally, I'm thinking he's doing this because he doesn't want to go through OTAs. Which I can't say I blame him.
He's getting fined every day that he's not there, though. So I don't know. He's getting fined. So,
but at the same time, you got to look at it this way. Now you're taking the risk of, okay, if you don't re-sign him by the start of the season, and this drags out throughout the season, come the end of the season, he might just say, you know what? I don't feel appreciated by you guys. I'm going to go play for somewhere else. And then that will really set the Steelers back. So, I mean...
That's what I worry about.
This possibly could end up being Tomlinson last year if this whole scenario plays out badly. And now I feel bad for Tomlinson because he's a damn good coach. I mean, some of his moves are questionable, but
he wins.
Exactly.
He doesn't win playoff games, but he wins in the regular season.
So yeah, they need to get TJ Watts taken care of, because if you don't, like I said, this could end up very, very bad. And then I can see it already. A lot of people's going to end up pointing at Aaron Rodgers because they're like, "Well, you gave him the money instead of giving it to Watts." That sounds kind of familiar.
Oh,
Oh yeah, New York did that with Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley. We're getting started
it
on
all
that.
goes back to New York. It all goes back to New York. And Danny Dimes is now on the Colts, so we'll see how he does.
He's gonna steal money from them too.
All right, our last topic, staying with the NFL. It's a little bit of a cool topic, you know. All the free agency stuff is done now. The draft has ended, so let's do our top 3 sleeper teams of the 2025, 2020, 2026 NFL season. And if people don't know, a sleeper team is someone who people may not think is really, really good, but to me, or you, or anybody else, could make some noise in the NFL season.
Yeah, like how I picked the Houston Texans 2 years ago.
Yeah, and I laughed in your face. You gotta keep reminding me about that. I know I did. I know I did, alright? I know. And I was wrong. But I didn't trust in the rookie. I still don't like rookies too much because I don't trust them.
Yeah, I mean, rookies are, because they're gonna hit that learning wall real hard at one point. So yeah, I mean,
either they come out really strong or they're not good.
But I like I said, I just had that feeling. It took a while. It did look kind of shaky at first, but there was a team that went from last to first. So who do you have as your first 3, or you just want to do it one at a time?
One at a time. But so I ranked them to teams that I think will actually do something and have the best opportunity. So number 1, the Denver Broncos.
But can we really call them a sleeper team?
Given their division, yes. They have to play the Chiefs twice. They have to play the Chargers twice.
And the Oakland Seahawks, Oakland Raiders.
Yeah. But when you think about if you were to name dominant teams in the AFC, they wouldn't be in there. You were to say elite teams, you would say Ravens, Chiefs, Bills, Bengals.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
They're not really the elite team to where I think they can go into the playoffs. They could knock off one of those teams because they've loaded up on their defense even more when their defense was top 6 in the NFL last year. Bo Nix going in his second year with Sean Payton. I just think he's going to keep improving, keep getting better. He did great last year. And again, with the additions that they made to their defense and the offensive line as well, I can see them really making a lot of headway there in the AFC. And again, I think they could definitely do a lot in that AFC playoff picture.
Okay, I hear what you're saying. My only concern, and this goes with every rookie, that especially ones that start year 1, is they hit that year 2 wall. We've seen it happen with C.J. Stroud, part of this past season. Basically, every rookie hits that rookie wall, season 2 wall. If he can play through it, and even though I do see him going to struggle a little bit this year more than he did last year, because now NFL teams have film on him. If he can play good enough where he doesn't cost the team games, which meaning he's not turning the ball over, and stuff like that, I can see them staying afloat. Do I see them beating the Chiefs and the Chargers? Definitely not the Chiefs. Maybe the Chargers. I can see them splitting their season series. I see them sweeping the Oakland Seahawks. The Oakland Raiders. Like, not my fault. I don't know where that came from. Oh yeah, because it's basically the Seahawks that went to Oakland. I see them sweeping them, but yeah, I don't see them splitting with the Chiefs. But I do see them splitting with the Chargers. So I see them finishing third, possibly second, depending on how good the Chargers actually are.
Yeah, just with that division that they're in, it makes it tough because that's why I had them as a sleeper team. They could finish either third or second, and with all the other elite AFC teams, they would just kind of fall in there at fifth and sixth total in the conference. And at that point, so all right, I'm excited. What's your number one sleeper team in the NFL?
So this is going to be a shocker. I'm actually going with the Carolina Panthers.
Wow, that is your number one sleeper team in the NFL.
That is going to be the team because if you look at the way they ended this past season, it was on a pretty good high note. Bryce Young finally came around after being benched. The team was started to look pretty good. With the additions they made through the draft and offseason, I could see them sneaking up there. You know, the only team that's really that they have to worry about would be the Tampa Bay Bucks and maybe the Falcons. I'm not too sure about the Falcons.
That is just a shit show over there.
And the Saints is another shit show by itself.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they would only have to really compete with the Bucks.
Exactly. So I can see. If Bryce Young, continue to play the way he ended the season, I can see them being one of those teams that's like, hey, hello, guess what? We're here.
Finally, we're here. Yeah. All right. Not a bad one. I don't disagree with your points. After getting benched, he did play a lot better. He's going into his third year. He has more and more time underneath his belt. Sometimes it takes a little bit to gain that experience and the rhythm of the NFL play. There is a chance for those Carolina Panthers, man. There is a chance with that crappy-ass swamp that they have to play in with that division. They just can't get in their own way. If they get in their own way, that'll hurt them. But
yeah.
As long as they can win the games that they're supposed to and split, I would say, with the Saints, or even full out beat the Saints, beat the Falcons, and maybe win a few other games that they are supposed to on the schedule, I think that, yeah, they can sneak in there.
Who's your second team?
All right, my second team, maybe a shock to some. I don't know. I'm going with the New England Patriots. I'm going with big New England. I know we laughed at them a few years ago with Big Daddy Mac Jones and how bad he was, and that was kind of our theme on the channel. Like, we laughed at him every week at how bad he was, how bad
yeah, that was a theme.
That was a theme every week.
Him and Daniel Jones.
Yep. But now they have Drake May. Again, I understand the sophomore slump. But I think he has a really good offense around him to where he should not hit that sophomore slump.
That's the only thing we have to worry about will be the sophomore slump.
They signed Diggs, which is a huge signing there in the offseason there. He just has to shut his mouth, show up and play. Don't I know. Don't complain about getting the ball or not. Just shut up and play the fucking sport, please. They have Kendrick Bourne. They have Douglas going into a second year. They have Stevenson at running back. They have a good offensive line. They have a great defense as well. With a new head coach, I think there's a chance that they, again, the spot that they're in their division is almost the same as the Broncos there, with the Bills and the Dolphins. And the Jets are what they are right now. We're not going to talk about them. But it's like the same situation, kind of, because they could definitely split with the Dolphins. And they could possibly beat the Bills, but I don't see it happening. Like something like a miracle would have to happen with them to beat the Bills this season. But yeah, I think they can just do exactly what I said with the Broncos, just kind of work their way along in the season, and Drake May just keeps getting better and better with that new offense, with the offensive line and the defense that they have there. They have a chance to not do something, but at least make the Bills worry a little bit in that spot up there in the division.
Yeah, I must say, I did not. That caught me off guard. I did not expect that one.
I know.
I actually have nothing to respond to that. Everything, I agree with everything you said. It comes down to Diggs keeping his mouth shut, which we all know is not going to happen.
Yeah, I know, right?
Stephon Diggs is going to be Stephon Diggs. The additions they made, during the offseason with the draft as well as free agency, yeah, it's gonna. I mean, that's a pretty good super pick.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good one.
Thank you.
Mine is going to be. It's going to be rough for me to say this.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
It's going to be very, very rough.
Oh, you're exciting me now. You can't do that.
The Colts.
The Colts.
Yes.
Explain, please.
Here's one of the few of the biggest reasons why.
Daniel Jones. That's the reason why. That's the reason they signed Daniel Jones. All right, wrap it up. We're good.
That'll be the reason why they fail. Anthony Richards, once again, as long as he could stay healthy, he proved that he could, he could run the team. The fact that the owner passed away this year, which I know majority of them pretty much didn't like him to begin with. They probably was happy, but that gives them a little bit motivation for, to be prideful and play their hearts out just for the organization itself. Not to mention, some of their signings this season did catch me off guard, and I didn't expect some of them. In the draft picks, I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, they didn't have that many draft picks, but the ones that they did pick were pretty much basically players that, could fill certain roles that they had issues with. Now, the downfall is if Anthony Richards gets hurt, now you got to rely on Mr. Let's run down the field by ourselves and trip over our feet, Daniel Jones.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still picking him as my second sleeper. Do I see them winning the division? No. But I do see them finishing possibly second because Jacksonville is in disarray. We don't know what's going on with Jacksonville.
Tennessee is almost the exact same.
And exactly, and I mean, I do see Tennessee probably being better than Jacksonville with the fact that they did get a good starting quarterback in the draft, Cam Ward, which
Mhm.
is who I wanted us to pick. But yeah, I that's who my sleeper is as for my second sleeper.
Okay, I hear you. I hear you there. My coworker, he's a Colts fan. He agrees with you that they're a sleeper team, but with the QB situation swapped. He doesn't like Anthony Richardson, and he'd rather see Daniel Jones start.
See,
What's really not sitting well with him with Anthony Richardson is the whole tapping out last season. He does not want a QB that'll just quit on the team that easily. And he can't stay healthy, like you said. He just went, I don't remember where, to get his shoulder checked out, his AC joint in his shoulder. So if he gets surgery, he won't even be ready for the season, I don't think. So that'll lead to Daniel Jones starting, which is what he wants. Because he thinks that the Giants were just a flawed organization that didn't give Daniel Jones much to work with. So that's why Daniel Jones failed. Because he didn't have a great offensive line in front of him, and the weapons on the side weren't the best either. Whereas in Indianapolis, there is more weapons on the side, and the offensive line is better with a bit of a better not a better defense because the defense now that the Giants have is better because of all the offseason moves that they made. But offensively, structure wise, I think Daniel Jones may do better in that situation. But I think people in Indianapolis don't really like Anthony Richardson too much because of that tap out situation.
which
Because
is
he pretty much just quit
understandable.
on the team, and they're like why would we want him? That's just that's the only pushback I have. I understand you with the other parts. Maybe again to see what Daniel Jones can do. I understand you watched Daniel Jones for years be a shit can, but then you do have to remember how bad of a just complete offense that was. The line he had in front of him, with the weapons on the side. Yes, he had Saquon behind him, but that's just Saquon. He can only hand it off to him and pass it to him.
But
There's a lot of flaws with
here's
the
my issue
situation.
with Daniel Jones, and it's the fact that he struggles to read defenses and he can't get the ball down the field. I mean, everybody says yeah, the Giants didn't. Yeah, the Giants might not have elite offensive weapons, but they had speed.
Hmm.
And if you can't get the ball to your speedsters down the field, where they got to stop and come back for the ball, you're basically negating everything that is supposed to be done. So yeah, I admit the Giants' offensive line hasn't been the greatest thing in the world. They're still trying to work on getting that fixed. It has gotten better, but I mean, like I said, when you have guys like you had Malik Neighbors as a rookie, Darius Slayton, who does have occasional problem with the dropsies. That drives me nuts. Um, Wandell, who was the third down specialist,
Hyatt.
Hyatt, which he didn't even bother looking at Hyatt no more. I mean, his whole thing was okay. Let me just try to get at the neighbors. So yeah, he makes poor decisions and he can't read defenses. There's been plenty of games where I've seen him where he's only looking at one side of the field, and there'll be two or three receivers open on the other side of the field, and then by the time he realizes it, it's too late. So yeah, I mean, if Daniel Jones worked out well for him, that's great. But it's going to be something that's going to be short lived.
Mm. Yeah, like you've seen enough. And that's what, like, I tried telling him, like, and that's what I have another coworker who's a Giants fan as well. And he's like, dude, Daniel Jones sucks. You don't want him. You can have him if you want him. But again,
Exactly.
I just think that the Colts fans are just so done with Anthony Richardson and the fact that he's almost always hurt. And when he's not hurt, he gave up on the team. So they don't want him in a as quarterback. So that's why there's like, screw it. We got Daniel Jones, so I guess we could see what he does.
Makes
All
sense.
right. The third one. This isn't going to really hurt me, but it's going to be, you might laugh a little bit because of how it ended last year for them. But my third sleeper team is the Chicago Bears.
You want to know something funny?
Is that your third one?
Yes, it was.
Hell yeah, big time. I just
Yes, it
think
was.
there's so much. Yes, Caleb Williams, he came off a bad year, so maybe it'll be the opposite of a sophomore slump. It'll be a sophomore rise. I think, again, that that whole head coaching thing, the front office did a terrible job at ingratiating Caleb Williams into the league, and it's not the first time they've done that. They did it
They did
with
with
Mitch
Justin Fields.
Trubisky, they did it with Justin Fields, and look what happened to them. They did a terrible job at giving Caleb Williams the right person to lead him. Yes, they gave him everything around him, like the weapons. They had DJ Moore, they had Keenan Allen, they had Cole Kmet, they had a great run game. The offensive line wasn't too bad. The defense was well, but the key part of a QB's development is the head coach.
Yes.
And if you have a dumb head coach and a defensive minded head coach that makes stupid defensive calls at the ends of games that we saw last year with the Commanders game and did it in few of the other games. When you have that as your head coach, a guy who thinks that giving up a 15-yard play at least a Hail Mary didn't matter is obscene and asinine to me. So now with a new head coach and Ben Johnson, an offensive guru, the specialist that he is, what he did with the Detroit Lions offense over the past few years, I think that the Chicago Bears, and they got better on the offensive line. I think they traded for Joe Tooney, the guard from the Chiefs in the offseason.
Yes, they did.
And again, their defense is still really good. Those weapons are still around. Caleb Williams. He's in his second year. Yes, it's a new offense, but it's a way better offense than what they had with Ben Johnson there. I think it's just going to be such a better year, and that the division, other than the Lions, is wide open. I think the Vikings might struggle a little bit with JJ coming off a huge injury.
Yep.
And you got the Packers, who are very inconsistent with Jordan Love, and now he throws the ball around. He's very wild with how he throws the ball around. He could throw some games away. And again, I just think they could. Again, that is probably one of the toughest divisions because Lions are an absolute powerhouse in that division. I mean, we will see with not having Ben Johnson there. We will see how their offense does now. But I just think there's so much going right for the Bears, which is very weird to say, but there is a lot going right for them to be able to make a huge jump this season with how bad it went last season. I think maybe again, I just wish that Caleb Williams had a better uh what's the word I'm looking for? Like start or like a better opportunity there. Like yeah, again, they gave him all the offensive weapons on the field, but they did not give him the right deep or the right coaching mind that he needed to help him out to start
Yeah.
his career. So I think he'll be a lot better.
Like I said, that was my pick as well. Was the Chicago Bears, and yeah, getting Ben Johnson to leave the Lions to go to the Bears was very huge. Um, With Ben, he might be able to, get use Caleb Williams the proper way. Um, like I said, the weapons around Caleb Williams are spectacular. I mean, I wouldn't call them elite, but they would be like a step just below elite.
Like they're still really, really good.
Yes, the offensive line has improved greatly, and the defense is not the typical Bears defense, but it's a defense that keeps them in the game.
hmm
So as long as Caleb Williams can actually develop properly under Ben Johnson, I mean, yeah, you're right. They could finish behind the Bears and behind the Lions in second place. Like you said, Minnesota, yeah, with JJ coming back after that injury, you know, they might not be as a fast start like they was last year. And with, like you said, with Jordan Love, the inconsistency, he reminds me a lot of a young Brett Favre. Of how inconsistent he was when he was throwing the football around, try to make plays happen, force the ball in situations that he's not supposed to. Um, so yeah, they could be an up and down. I mean, I could see them, at worst, everybody in that division could be over 500.
hmm
At worst, I could see the Bears one game under 500, which still will be a huge improvement.
Yeah, I hate that people are already writing off K. Williams as a bust. He played 1 year in probably the worst coaching situation that he could have been put in. If he can't develop under Ben Johnson, then I will start kind of leaning towards he shouldn't have been number one overall pick.
I agree.
But let's wait and see. Again, I just think there's just so much going right for them that it'll be a big improvement from what they had last year.
And I know a lot of people's expecting me to pick my Giants, but let's be realistic. They
No,
got the toughest
no.
schedule in the league.
hmm
Nah.
Mm-mm. It doesn't matter how much they improve that goddamn defense. When you get that schedule, there's
Yeah.
no way.
Not with the offense. I mean, yeah, the offense has improved some. I mean, as much as a lot of people don't like Russell Wilson because basically he's gotten old, he is still one of the best deep ball throwers in the league.
I know him and George Pickens did really well when Russ started for us.
But before we go, I do have a question for you as a Steeler
Oh
fan.
no,
How do you feel about them trading Pickens away to the Cowboys?
I'm not happy about that. I was trying to steer away from it. I'm not happy at all about that because I was very excited when we traded for DK Metcalf. I was ecstatic. I
I
was
was too.
so happy because now we had a 1-2 punch on the outside. It wasn't just going to be all Pickens. We had DK and Pickens, and then we had other weapons out there. We have Fryermuth, and right now I'm Austin. He's a little speedy guy on the outside. We have Scotty Miller, Ben Skoranek, Jalen Warren out of the backfield. I was like, yes, here we go. We have a 1-2 punch on the outside, two elite wide receivers. Then we had the talk to Aaron Rodgers come in. I was like, oh, here we go. This is it. This is what we needed in the offense. And then I get the tweet that we traded him to. Out of all the teams, we could have traded him to, we trade him to the Cowboys to now where they have a 1-2 punch in CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens.
The funny
For
thing is, when I got that um, text message from ESPN, the first thing that came to my mind was, "Oh, we got to get the podcast back. I need to get Jeff's take on this because this is gonna be Yeah.
It's to me, it's so stupid, and that's why I said I don't know what we're doing as far as organization right now. We traded away George Pickens for pretty much a bag of chips. I mean, it was a 2026 pick, which is what we got, and we had to give up a pick with George Pickens to get a pick back from the Cowboys. I understand what people are saying when we got DK Metcalf, that they're both hotheads. They both have an
Which they
attitude
are.
problem. They can go off at any moment. I understand that completely.
But
But just
at
look
the
at the
same
talent out
time,
there.
it's
The
worth the
the
risk.
talent that could have been out there would have been incredible.
It would, I mean, let's face it. You got two hot yes. They're hot heads. Yes, they have the tendency to fly off the handle at times when things don't go their way. I mean, let's be realistic. What superstar doesn't? I mean, every
Like
superstar, they might
really.
not, you might not get it caught on TV or, but I guarantee you, every superstar, when things aren't going right, has gone off. And I was thinking the same thing you was thinking, whew, you got DK Metcalf on one side, Pickens on the other side. You got that great tight end. It would have been nice if Harris would have been back, but they lost Najee Harris.
Just I'm not really upset with that because for years people were saying that Warren is better than Harris. I never wanted to say that. I don't think that is what happened. I just think that Warren was a bit more elusive and he was able to find gaps and holes better. Again, the line did not help
This is
in the
true.
slightest. Our line sucked. So Harris wasn't given the best line, but then Warren was able to run better. It was just too much going on. I hope that Harris does do well with the Chargers. You know, he was great for us. I have no ill will towards him. I think he did an amazing job given what kind of offense Matt Canada ran, and then I think he didn't do too bad with Arthur Smith running it. But yeah, we had
Matt
just
Canada, that
so.
was a bad offensive coordinator.
Oh, I know. I You don't gotta tell me, but just there was so much. I was like, yes, here we go. And again, we were in the talks of Aaron Rodgers for such a long time. I'm like, all right, I understand he's old, but he has two elite wide receivers out there to throw to, along with the tight end, which he loves his tight ends.
That's
So
is true.
I was like, yes. Like I would have rather them try it out for 5 games. If it doesn't work, if it ain't working, okay, then you can ship George Pickens away. Okay, fine. But we didn't even get a chance to see it. We didn't get a chance to sniff it. DK was traded there, and I don't even know how much long later then they traded away George Pickens. And then that's when I got pissed. And now we're doing this. Then we sign Aaron Rodgers for 19 goddamn freaking $1 million, and we're not signing TJ Watt. And it's just like I don't know what we're doing right now, but it's not making sense to me. We better keep TJ Watt. Again, like you said, I don't see him sitting out. He's the type of player that he will play. He just won't be happy with the organization. And again, at the end of the season, I will not blame him if he's like, screw you guys. I'm going somewhere else to get my money that I have earned, rightfully earned. So
And
see ya.
every team would be opening the pocketbook for that one.
hmm So yeah, I that is a good question. You know, I'm not happy that we did trade away George Pickens. I understand he had an attitude problem, but just man, if he just give that a chance. DK and George Pickens on the side there. Whew, whew.
Yeah, because you couldn't double team one without double teaming the other one.
Exactly, and they both stay healthy too. They
This
don't
is
have an
true.
issue with health. They're always out there. Like if DK's hurt, he's still playing. It don't matter. So I would have liked to see it, but they had to trade him to the goddamn Dallas Cowboys. Are you fucking kidding me? Out of any team, now I get to hear that every week on ESPN now, that's all they're going to talk about is how the Cowboys lost or they won, and they're going to bring up George Pickens. And now he went there for the Steelers. They traded him for nothing, and they got him for cheap. I'm going to hear that every week now.
Yes, we will. All right. The time has come. Actually, 15 minutes over, but hey, we had some technical issues, so that's explanatory. That explains why it happens.
Hmm.
But for everybody, we want to say thank you.
Yeah, it's good to be back.
It's great to be back.
We'll see you guys next week.
We want to thank everyone who has tuned in to the Drop Zone. We are happy to be back entertaining every one of you, so please remember to hit the subscribe button as well as the share button. If you haven't already joined our Facebook group, it's the DropZone Podcast. Today's episode was brought to you by Traveling Treasures Agency